Oh, come on, it doesn't work. And welcome to TGP2. And tonight we are at Canada. Just so you all know, it is one-shot quality as every other week. The stream is in 2K again, so if you want to watch it in higher quality, then feel free. And qualifying appears to be wet. Joking, it's dry. And I wonder what the weather's going to be like in the race. We will find out, I'm sure, pretty close. No, the stream is perfectly fine. It's a bit of a delay. Cough, cough, Tom Smith. So, and apparently, I'm hearing from my news reporters, it is wet in the middle of the race, and here we go then. So, qualifying, and let's ride on board with the one and only Jordan, as I believe he is, the title leader at the moment on 104 points to Chris Johnson 89, and he's, well, Bazza has retired already there, and Jordan mid-pack at the moment. Goings is actually in the lead from Inverness fan, so it should be very interesting. As Chris Johnson has already retired, I wonder if he binned it, probably, knowing him. Oh, I think he cut the corner apparently and then retired, so fair enough to him. He's still not going to qualify last, so that's okay. And it is on strict, I must point out, so it could be very easily, well, it could very easily be a bit difficult in the race if it rains. As Inverness fan is in the lead, but it's Goings back in the lead again. Let's have a look at the Goings, seen as though he is P2 at the moment. And I think Inverness fan may have a bit more straight line speed. He's put a bit of a gap, not huge, but we'll see, as we come around the final corner, as Elite Shots is third, and I think Dom Smith may have just corner cut the final chicane. And Inverness does get pole by a considerable margin, 4 tenths, and Jordan managed to pull it back to P3 on a 10.4. And the field is actually quite, not spread out, but it's not particularly close, I must say. And yeah, as you can see there, Dom Smith 93 disqualified from corner cutting in Canada. Corner cutting cheat, I must say, corner cutting cheat. Anyway, here's the qualifying. So Inverness fan on pole by 4 tenths, very good from himself. Goings, not really where he wanted to be, but you know, he'll be happy with that, I take it. Goings in P2, Jordan in P3. Elite Shots was the title favourite, I don't think so anymore, is in P4. Kong Hoffner, the King Kong himself, is in P5. Dexter is in P6. Angel vs. Death, also known as Michael Kenny, is in P7. Red Bull Kim is the last of the people who set laps in P8. Dom Smith corner cutting because he's a cheating person in P9. Chris Johnson in P10. Bossman Sean in P11. And Bazar, very disappointed with that, in P12. But we shall see, obviously, what the race holds. Apparently, it's going to rain mid-race. I think it's always dodgy, to be honest, when it comes to the weather forecast in the game, because it never works. But we will see on what the race is going to be like. Will it start dry? Will it start wet? Will it start all? And it's dry. So it's very, very sunny. I think I'm getting blinded by the sun, not going to be honest. And as we can see there, in the bottom left of your screens, Dom Smith's mechanics are just sat there, relaxing. No worries. He can't go worse than he has. So yeah, they're quite relaxed, actually, quite relaxed. But we are gearing up for the race start. Turn 1 and Turn 2 are very difficult, I must point out, at Canada, to be honest. Very easy to get caught up, very easy. People try and go around the outside, run it wide, crash into each other, and it can be chaos. But hopefully, it's quite clean. And I must point out, there's not a huge amount of drivers tonight. Not that many, but that won't stop them. That won't stop them at all. But I'm sure it will be an interesting race anyway. And here we go, 5 lights, and away they go. So let's ride on board, shall we? With Elite Shots in P4. He's going to try and go around the outside of Jordan, and he's already made it step. Let's go on the outboard. Quite a clean, bit of a Mercedes going wide there, but a very clean, as Inverness fan is still in the lead. So that's a perfect start for himself. Dexter and Angel versus Death swapping places there. There's a Mercedes round of Dexter. I think he may have had a bit of a tag from a car along his side. So that's not the greatest. I don't think he's got any damage. But let's go back up to the field. Elite Shots then being overtaken by Kong Hofner. So I think Kong is looking for a decent result. I don't think he had particularly great results last week, as there's a yellow flag. Is that anyone specifically? I don't think so. There's a Mercedes. I think it's Bazza. Bazza now has lost half of his wing, as you can see on the right end plate there. So may have had a bit of a contact. I don't think with anyone. It might have been the wall. So not the greatest there. And Dom Smith and the two Ferraris then going side by side. Dom Smith, I think, may have just got past Bossman Sean, but Bossman Sean will have the slipstream, and Dom Smith does not go defensive. And obviously, I must point out as well. Let's just get the tyres up just so we can see there. So Dom Smith and Bazza are the only two people on the medium tyres. So then that actually brings it to more perspective for Bazza. He's got front wing damage. The worst camera angle right there. Good one there. He's on the mediums and he's got damage to his front wing, so not the greatest there. And actually, the gap between the top guys is pretty close. It's within 3 or so seconds, so that's good. And actually, Goings at the moment not quite able to attack Inverness Fan, but let's have a look at the ears, shall we? That's always a good one. And which one is it? And there's a yellow flag somewhere, and I don't know who that was. And there we go. And obviously Sean and Angel versus Death having a bit of a ding-dong, as it were. And obviously Dom Smith right behind that. We're on board with Dom Smith. So let's just take a look. And Angel versus Death going defensive. Very dangerous from Angel versus Death there. Dom Smith. It's getting a bit tasty. It's very tasty. I like this taste. Not chicken. I like chicken. So this is very close between it. It's a 4 battle fight between Chris Johnson, Angel versus Death, and obviously another car. So that's an interesting one. And Angel versus Death lost out 2 places. And Angel versus Death there tried to go. Very silly from Angel versus Death there. And I do believe Bossman Sean has now lost half of his wing. Basically, Angel versus Death tried to cut the corner, not intentionally, of course, and sadly, binned it in the wall. He ran out of room. But now Chris Johnson is up to P7 from the grid position that he was. So not too bad from him. And the gap actually is at the front. He's still staying at half a second. 8 tenths behind is Jordan. 9 tenths behind is Kong. Elite Shots in P5 is another half second. And there's a gap of 4.7 seconds to Dom Smith. But let's have a look for Chris Johnson, shall we? That is the closest, I'd say, battle on the race at the moment. Bossman Sean is not too far behind, but he has got front wing damage. And there we go then. Will Chris Johnson dive it up the inside of the hairpin? No, he won't. He thinks better of it. I don't blame him, to be fair. It would have been a silly move with that, but he should have DRS, as this is a lap when DRS is open, and he does. And there we go. So let's look at the front then, as the top 2. Goings and Inverness Fan there. Bit of contact. Inverness Fan lost his wing. I think that was more of a racing incident, going to be honest there, but not what he wants there. And as let's look ahead as Elite Shots and Kong Hofner going side by side. A bit of a ding-dong there. Both of them have got all of their wing, so that's good. I think Elite Shots are doing far better this race than he was last week, because he's still got all his end plates, so that's always a positive there. And Elite Shots then, as I speak of him, gets a 3-second time penalty, as we can see on the screen. They're not what he wanted, as we see, Rebel Kim overtaking Bossman Sean, but Bossman Sean is in the pits, and Sean is on the mediums. It's only strategy he can really go on. If he goes on the hard, he's going to have no pace, but Dexter, on the other hand, is on the hards, 11 seconds behind F1 Baz there. And let's have a look then. Inverness Fan, obviously crawling around with that damaged wing. Not what he wanted, but it is what it is. And the closest battle at the moment then is still Elite Shots and Kong Hofner. I always think of Hugh Hefner as Bossman Sean gets a 3-second penalty there. Will he have DRS? He does. So obviously Elite Shots does have DRS. I don't think he'll have the run into the final corner, but he's still got the DRS on the main straight as well. And obviously be hoping not to get any more penalties, because that's not something he wants at all, really. And there's not too many battles on the field at the moment. The only one is Elite Shots and Hoffman. They're the closest, which is half a second. But I do find Canada can be very difficult to overtake. You'd think it's quite easy, but the only real overtaking spot is the DRS straights, and even then it's quite difficult, as if someone gets the better exit out of the hairpin, then you're screwed. And I'm hearing from my my little pet in the, as it were, pit lane called Dom Smith, rain in 5 minutes apparently, so that should be interesting, as Baza now gets a 3-second penalty, but he is 27 seconds behind Inverness Fan, as Inverness Fan pits onto the hard tyres, and Rebel Kim is nearly binned it with Bossman Sean, so that's not good for Rebel Kim. Lost 2 places there, as Bossman Sean then gets another 3-second penalty. And yeah, the Inverness Fan is going to be coming back through the field, but here we go then, Elite Shots right behind the Kong, King Kong himself, DRS wide open. Is he going to try? I think it'll be quite easy. Will Kong go defensive? No, he doesn't. Nice and easy move there from Elite Shots into P3, into the podium positions. Does he keep it on track? Yes, he does. However, Kong gets a better run out of the final corner. He won't have DRS, as Chris Johnson gets a 3-second time penalty there. Not good. I believe that was at turn 1, or, well, not turn 1, the last corner. So there we go, and I'm hearing Jordan does not have a time penalty, as far as my pets in the pit lane go. So Jordan, I do not think, has a time penalty, and he's 1.9 seconds behind Goings. I think the gap stayed about the same over the last few laps, but to be fair, at the moment, I'll have a quick rundown while there's not too many battles going on at the moment. So before tonight's races, Jordan is in P1 in the standings on 104 points. Chris Johnson in P2 on 89 points, so Jordan has a bit of leeway in P2 at the moment. He can't really go wrong, because Kong goes a bit wide there and messes that up on Elite Shots. Erland in P3, and sadly he's not here tonight, on 67 points. Jack Craig on 63 points, so he will, if he gets some good points, will jump ahead of Erland tonight. And then number 5 is Klaus CHR on 57 points. And then the returnee, the military man himself, back from Africa, back from the, I'm not going to say it because it will be quite, and as we can see, speaking of rain, it's raining, and now Jordan has a 3-second time penalty for the last corner. But as we can see on the screen, it has started raining, and here we go, Kong getting a run on Elite Shots with DRS up the inside. Will he keep it nice and tidy? If I can speak it, he does. However, Elite Shots going back up the inside. Grip's clearly not there. Has he got a bit of a squirrel on? He didn't have any nuts, but he had a bit of a squirrel. There we go. It must be start raining, and this game, sometimes it can rain very heavy, sometimes it will take a few laps, but the key area to know when it rains is, oh, there we go, Kong nearly losing it there, and nearly taking out Elite Shots, but nothing to worry about. It was perfectly fine, and this is still the closest battle in the field at the moment. And Kong tried to go up the inside of that chicane, not really working out for him there. He's lost about 4 or 5 tenths as Bossman Sean gets a penalty there. I'm probably not going to say he's going to get any more penalties, just because it's quite negative on him, and I don't want to be negative. But anyway, as Rebel Kim, I must point out, has chosen the intermediate, so very early with that. And as we are riding on board with Chris Johnson, because obviously Kong and Elite Shots have been battling quite a bit the last few laps, Dom and Chris Johnson are closing up quite nicely. Also, not forgetting that Chris Johnson does have a 3-second penalty, and so does Elite Shots in P3 there. But again, the battle that is closest is still Kong and Elite Shots. But I don't think at this point in time it's going to be about, there's a yellow flag. Is that anyone specifically? I think it might have been Bossman Sean losing it at the hairpin, and he's just lost a place to Inverness Fan, who is still on the hards. No surprise there, but let's go back on board with Kong, shall we? Is he going to be king? Is he going to be a wimp? We don't know. I'd probably be a wimp in these conditions, to be honest with yourself, as Elite Shots goes very wide there. He's struggling, Elite Shots is, but I think so is everyone. He's got DRS, Kong has. Will he try around the outside? I think it's going to be dangerous moving this in these conditions, but yeah, he thinks better of it. He backs out, leaves it for the DRS owners. Elite Shots then gets very wide, and there's a yellow flag again. Is that anyone specific? It's Bossman Sean yet again, spinning sadly, as there we go, back on board with Kong, and Rebel Kim is about to get lapped. No surprise, as he is on the inters, as Elite Shots goes wide there, and well, I was going to say, well, Kong did get a better exit, and then he got oversteer, as Bossman Sean, I think, has called it quits. I don't actually think Elite Shots, no, he does not have DRS on Rebel Kim, so that's not too bad. However, going into this final chicane, especially when it's wet, you don't want Rebel Kim's AI as Kong pits then. I think Kong has decided it's too wet for these tyres. I'm going to make the first call, and Chris Johnson follows him in, as Inverness Fan coming around the hairpin, really struggling. I definitely think now is the time to pit if you haven't already, or definitely the next lap, because I think, yeah, it's way too slippy. And did Chris Johnson? No, he didn't. I was going to say, did Chris Johnson jump Kong then? And no, he didn't. And Kong then, on my screen, has gone on the medium tyres. That's an interesting strategy there. And I think he might go straight off at turn 1. No, he actually managed to keep it on there. As Dom Smith apparently has crashed, lost both of his end plates, or one end plate, and I'm hearing it may be way too wet as Rebel Kim's AI car, or not AI car because he goes now, is well, gone. As here we go then, Chris Johnson should make an easy move on Kong, thinks about on the inside, but I think at the moment Kong's actually doing quite well on those dry tyres. I'm going to be completely honest, but I think it won't be too long. I think he will have it this time. And I'm hearing from the leaders on their team radios, obviously of Goings, it is time for Inters apparently. And yeah, as you can see there, Kong really struggling to keep it on the circuit there. I think realistically she'll probably give that place up, but to be fair, I think it's only a matter of time now before Chris Johnson gets, and actually Kong runs wide, down to the fact that there's just no grip. There is absolutely no grip. And look at that, look at the traction that Chris Johnson's got there, and everyone now peeling into the pits in the lead. Elite Shots, Jordan, and Goings. Goings comes out in the lead still. Nice and easy for himself, but I must say I don't think Dom Smith or Kong, well, I was going to say Kong, I don't think Dom Smith's strategy worked out too well. However, he is in P4. He is in P4 at the moment. Oh, well, saying that, he's going down the field now, but it's not all over for Dom Smith, I must point out, but I'm not too sure if Kong is correctly on the mediums. I think he must be, because he's got us skating straight off as Elite Shots gets past him as he comes out the pits. But yeah, Kong, well, not really much I can say about that. I think it was a bit of an odd decision. I don't think it was meant to do that. I think he might have probably thought, I've changed it to Inters, and secretly hadn't, but he's really struggling now. And to be fair, you know, if he pits now and he's actually skated straight off, he's done a Sebastian Vettel in 2011, and I think it's apparently going to ease up in 5 minutes as well. Those Dom Smith comes up to Kong, who is really struggling on those drives, but to be fair, I think that gamble has not paid off. It may dry up at the end, but it might be too wet, as it were, to even try and keep it on the track. And yeah, as you see there, even Dom's, as Kong gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cut in there, even Dom's, I think, struggling a bit. Not as much as Kong though, and at the moment this is actually the closest battle on the circuit, if you can call it battle, as there we go. Kong, a bit wide there on those drives, no traction at all. No traction at all there, so that's an interesting one. Everyone else is on the Inters, which is the right strategy, and yeah, it's as simple as that really. There's not really any battles on the circuit other than Kong and Dom. Well, hey, it's Elite Shots only 2.5 behind as Kong there puts it in the Wall of Champions, loses half his wing. Not very good really. It's not the greatest Kong. I don't think he's going to be beating his chest in this race again, sadly. However, it looks like Elite Shots there has... No, I was going to say, I thought he had a bit of wing damage there, but it's just the front wing with that, and it's a bit quiet in this race now, I'd say. I think the intermediates have really spread the race out as Kong is in the pits. No surprise there. Right, just going to say now, I don't know if he's had brain fade or tyre fade, but he's put another set of medium tyres on. Right, Kong, I'm not... If you're listening to this stream, as Inverness fan gets a 3-second penalty, Kong, you might be a gorilla, but I don't think mediums are going to help as Inverness fan, as apparently, I'm hearing Chris Goings now gets a 3-second penalty. However, you know, he's got 7.2 secondly, but I'm hearing he crashed, e.g. spun it, but very easy on this circuit. I wouldn't like to be out there, as a lot of the TGP guys know, I don't like the wet weather. It's not because of the wheel, it's because I'm shit. Sorry for the English there. But yeah, at the moment then, Kong is being overtaken by Dexter. No surprise there, he's still on the medium tyres for the, well, this third stint at this point. And yeah, there's not really any battles going on at the moment, but let's go on board with Elite Shots for a bit, shall we? Now, Elite Shots, before last week, he was actually looking to be the title favourite for this championship. It's fell apart a bit since. I think last week was very unlucky for him. He was getting a lot of incidents, not all his own, I'd say, at all. Getting wing damage, and at that point it's pretty hard to come back from it. But yeah, at the moment he is lying P4 in the standings on 63 points to Jordan's 104. So it's going to be a bit of a big gap. I think Jordan I think he needs just to keep it calm, just take home those podiums, take home those points. And to be fair, he's got enough of a gap at the moment where, you know, it's going to be towards the end of the season before anyone's able to catch him. But again, it's 3 races tonight. It's one shot quali, one bad result from Jordan, and that gap can very easily be very, very narrowed down. So, should be an interesting one to see throughout this season. But at the moment, then, obviously, Elite Shots, the old title favourite, is in P4. Jordan, the championship favourite now, Elite Shots, is in P2. And I'd say another person to really look out for, and he's really shown his pace since coming back from Africa, obviously on tour in the Army for life, is Goings, as there's a yellow flag. Anyone specifically? I don't think so. I believe it's Kim letting him through, and Kim is in the pits there. Obviously, I don't know if he's got front wing damage. I think he might have. I can't see anything on his right. No, he's not got front wing damage. We're just letting him through there. And another set of inters for Rebel Kim there. Nice helmet from Rebel Kim. Probably not the result as Inverness Fan gets another 3-second penalty there. Probably not the result that Rebel Kim wants. He's in P10 though, so he's last. He's going to get a point. We can't really complain too much with that. Obviously, in terms of Rebel's pace. But yeah, as I was going back to saying there, obviously Goings coming back from Africa. Obviously, he's shown the pace. Last week he had really good pace at all 3 races. Monaco let him down a bit, but it's Monaco. I think, you know, Monaco can catch the best out. I think even before I joined TGP in another league that I will not speak of, like Voldemort, I binned it from the lead in 100%. Not really what you want, and I lost the race because of it. So yeah, the best person, obviously. Well, the best person. The better people can always make mistakes if you put them under enough pressure, which I wasn't at the time. But yeah, obviously this week he seemed to be as Dexter there, slightly cut in the corner in these difficult conditions. I don't blame him, to be fair. Yeah, so it should be a good season, I'd say, for Goings. I think he's definitely not out of the championship. Obviously tonight he is in P6 on 52 points, pretty much 50 or so behind the lead as Kong gets another penalty there. However, you know, Goings could potentially win the majority of the races for the rest of the season. I think he's going to TTP1 next season, Dom, cough cough, if he races. So yeah, Goings is looking really, really fine for the rest of this season. If he makes all the races, of course. It's a very key thing there, that he makes the races. Obviously it's very, very important there, but a quick rundown of the race then. Pretty boring race, if I'm being honest with yourself. Not the greatest, but it's Canada, it's wet. There's crashes, it happens. Goings in P1, perfect what he wants. Jordan in P2, I think he'll be very satisfied with that, especially from obviously his championship point of view. Chris Johnson in P3, a very solid result for Chris Johnson. I must point out, Chris Johnson, his last few races, has actually really shown that even though he may not get the qualifying results, may not qualify at the front, his overall pace is there to be, I won't say a championship contender. I mean, he is in P2 if I'm being honest, so I'm actually talking shit there, but pace-wise, he's getting very good. So that's good to see. And then jump court, Chris Johnson will bin at this race. I'm waiting for it. So yeah, it's good for the McLaren team. And I must actually point out with the constructors, McLaren before tonight were on 193 points, pretty much 90 points as Dom Smith then gets a penalty. McLaren in P1 in the constructors, and before tonight, 90 points ahead of Toro Rosso, which was Daz and Erland. So yeah, I think it's looking increasingly unlikely that anyone will beat McLaren in the constructors, especially if they keep up this form of constant podiums, which is good to see. I know McLaren in real life have been doing pretty rubbish in recent seasons, but at least it's good to see them in real life and in the F1 game as well. And I'm hearing people are considering in the next few laps dry tyres. As we can see on the screen, it stopped raining completely. Obviously sector 3 down this back straight on board with Goings, it looks pretty dry, but I'd say it's too early to pit now. I'd rather go a lap late than a lap early and just skate off into the barriers. But yeah, it looks very, very dry on the main straight and the back straight. I would say next lap or the lap after is probably time to pit, but you know, 3 to 4 laps to go. Do you want to risk it? I think if you're Goings, he's got a 12-second advantage. He can risk it. And he's still going to probably finish P2 or P3. Obviously, if the worst happens and it's not quite dry enough, but I would say, is there a yellow flag? Anyone specifically? No, I think it might be just Rebel Kim. Obviously going slow as Goings here, coming up to lap Rebel Kim, and Rebel Kim sensibly gets out of the way, obviously, which is good to see from him there. And yeah, as Hoffner then, Kong himself is in the pit on the dry, so there's going to be a good telling to see. DRS enable, and it is definitely dry. Is now pitted this lap, and Dom Smith has pitted as Elite Shots gets a 3-second time penalty. Perfect timing for Dom Smith. Will this prove lucrative for the Ferrari driver? I think it will, because he had nothing to lose. I think he's only lost maybe, one place, if that. Obviously, so nothing to lose really, and we'll actually go on board with Dom. Just seeing it's a bit of a struggle there out the pits. It usually is on, I won't say cold tyres. However, we'll see what Dom Smith's pace like as Bazza pits as well then with that. And apparently, according to the team radio, Dom Smith is very greasy, and you can see there he's very out of shape. Very out of shape. However, at the moment he's 3.6 seconds behind Inverness Fan. Now he's 3.2, so Dom might be struggling, but he's still half a sector quicker than the car in front on the inside, so it's definitely time to pit. As we can see in the top left, Goings is pitted for the medium tyres, it shows, so an interesting strategy there to say that there's only 2 laps left. Not too sure of the logic there, as Chris Johnson, I believe, stays out, as obviously he had no choice because his teammate Jordan is in the pit, so Jordan on the soft tyres. And to be fair, this could be an interesting finish to the race, and actually Goings had enough of a lead that he still came out ahead of Chris Johnson. So Chris Johnson then is staying out. So yeah, it's an interesting tactic from Chris. I don't think he really had a choice. Chris Johnson had nothing to lose there on the basis that, well, it's a lap and a half to go, 2 laps pretty much, and his teammate paired. So it's going to be interesting though, because P4 just came around turn 2 and turn 3. So Chris has got to last a lap and a half for him now, and I think he may be able to do it. He may be able to do it then, but dry tyres, as you can see, it's definitely dry enough. And let's actually stay on board with Chris Johnson, just see how much understeer he has. And actually Jordan then 8.9 seconds behind Chris Johnson with pretty much 1 lap to go. So it's going to be interesting. Will Jordan manage to catch him? I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be similar to China, where it dried up right at the end, or it rained right at the end. One of them, I think it dried, and one person and 2 people managed to get really good results from it. But we'll see then. In 6.6 is the gap to Chris Johnson from Jordan. So yeah, Chris Johnson there. Only logical sense he has, stay out. There's no point pitting. He's just going to lose all those positions anyway, and you're not going to gain anything. But there we go. Jordan then is 6 seconds, or 5.8 now, behind Chris Johnson. I don't think Jordan's going to make it stick, if I'm being honest. But either way, P3 from Jordan wouldn't be a bad result. As there we go, Kong, obviously, I believe he's lapped. Is actually unlapping himself from Chris Johnson there, and look at that gap that he's already pulled on a lap car. And it was obviously actually, it might be a close one at the end. Here we go. We're going to go on board with Jordan. I think he's going to get him, and there we go. There's Chris Johnson right ahead of him. He gained 3 seconds in 1 sector alone, and I'm afraid it looks like for Jordan, or should I say Chris Johnson, he's going to have him for breakfast, as Chris Johnson there really struggles. And yeah, obviously sensible from Chris Johnson there. No point coming onto the back track dangerously. But Chris Johnson has a 10-second gap to Elite Shots, and Elite Shots does have penalties anyway. So Chris Johnson does look like he's going to finish in P3 with a daring strategy. So that's okay there. And here we go then. Goings around the final corner, takes yet another win. Obviously this season, I believe that is his 3rd win of this season. He won in Baku and Spain as well there. So that's a good result for Goings, a good result for Jordan as well in P2, good result for Chris Johnson compared to where he qualified. Elite Shots, I would say a good result. To be honest with yourself. P4, it's not all over. Dom Smith, a good result there. To say he damaged his wing. P5, I think he was hoping for maybe a bit more. However, P5, you can't really go wrong. Inverness Fan, I'd probably say very disappointed with that. He qualified on pole position. He spun it once or twice. Not really what he wanted, especially from starting on pole. F1 Bazar will be obviously P7 as well, coming across the line. Dexter is in P8. Kong's already finished as he got lapped in P9. And Red Bull Kim rounding out the finishers in P10, and then Bossman Sean and Angel vs Death, see, in the final 2 spots there. But yeah, Goings then, so it's a good result for myself. Obviously very happy with that. The next track though, of course, is France. Now France is a very difficult circuit in terms of the strictness of the corners, but then in terms of how easy it is for you to run turn 1 specifically. Firstly, you get blinded by the sun, so you can't see the apex, and if you quite a bit too much, ride that curb a bit too much, it can really spit you out. And there we go, then the top 3 on the podium. I think that's number 62, as far as I can tell for goings, in his Racing Point, and then the 2 McLarens side by side. Look at that beautiful shot there of the top 3 cars there. So the American wins yet another race, and then 2 Brits on the podium with him. Long live the Queen. And we are gearing up then for the next race at France. And I'll have a quick rundown of the field again, just to make sure all of it was correct. So goings in first, Jordan P2, Chris Johnson rounding out the podium, Elite Shots P4, Don Smith P5, Inverness Fan is in P6, Bazar P7, Dexter P8, Kong P9, Red Bull Kim P10, Sean in P11, and Angel vs Death in P12 there. And actually, look at that, Chris Johnson P3, 10th on the grid. And he finishes 3rd, a very good result from himself. He kept it clean, he kept it where it needed to be. A few maybe hairy moments, I'd say, but a very good result there. And Bazar qualified P12, finished P7. Not too bad at all really. But yeah, the next one is on to obviously France. And obviously on the calendar it shows us France and then Austria on there. So it's an interesting one. We'll see which one it is. Is it France? Is it Austria? And it looks like it's France. So we will see then with that. And actually, I'm not too sure. I believe last time TGP2 were here, I do believe it was still the new pit lane. As you can see in the top of the screen there, obviously in the red part of the runoff area, that's where the pit is. It's halfway around that second to last corner. So it should be an interesting race. Will it be dry? Will it be wet? That is always the key question. I always pray for a dry race. I don't want any incidents, obviously, with regards to that. So I am hearing that a few drivers on the grid have not done this new pit lane. So at the moment, I will say the pit entry is halfway around that second to last corner. So you can pretty much nearly go full throttle into it, but make sure you brake before the barrier, or you're going to get a speeding penalty. Not what you want, especially since it's very fast. And there you go, look, left-hand side of the thing. There we go, there's the pit entry, just for people to see. It used to be after the final corner, obviously with regards to that. So, it's going to be an interesting race, we'll see. We will see. Is it going to be dry? Is it going to be wet? Is it going to be an interesting race? Is it going to be a boring race? We're about to find out in France. And this race is round number 8 of season 24 of TGP2. And let's see then, eventually, when it loads, and then we'll have to find out what the weather's like. But hopefully it's just a dry race. Let's just hope for a dry race. Let's get a close battle, slipstream round here, especially down that DRS straight that we're looking at now. It's very powerful. And obviously, there could be quite a number of audacious moves, let's say, into that chicane. And as we can see, unless my eyes are playing tricks on me, it is dry for qualifying. And I will get my pit lane reporter in just a few moments telling me whether it's dry for the race. And there we go, on cue, he did just tell me it's a completely dry race. So what we wanted really, that's as far as I can tell, we wanted it to be dry. We wanted it to be a straight up fight for the win, fight for the pole position, fight for every position, no weather to interrupt it. And I'm actually going to put a bet on. I think Jordan is going to win the race. It's a long shot, knowing going's pace, but I think Jordan may win the race. So keep your fingers crossed, as it were. And here we go then. So here we go. We'll actually go on board then, shall we? Obviously with we'll say goings just for the sake of it. He's got some good pace there. Here we go, turn 1. Slightly misses the apex. They're not too bad. Doesn't ride too much the curb. Very cautious on the exit. I don't blame him. Obviously with regards to that, this next one is very difficult. It's very easy to run over that curb. Gives it a wide berth there. Obviously tight on the left hand side. Very tight. Takes a wide line into this next corner. Don't blame him. And this next corner, very deceiving. You get multiple lines in here. I always like to try and run it wide on the exit. Not off the circuit, of course, just to get on the power. And there we go, on the DRS straight. DRS wide open then for you. This next corner, very deceiving. You can brake, and it's very easy to lock up as you go into this next left-right chicane there. Brake as you hit that curb nicely done. Slightly missed there, but I do like to run a bit more curb on there, and that's perfectly fine. And actually, Goings only in P4 at the moment, with Bossman Shaw and Dexter in the Mercedes in P2, and Inverness Fan in P1, but we'll still run on board with Goings, obviously in this long right-hander. Very easy to lose your rear end if you're on the brake a bit too hard, there we go, not too bad. He runs it a bit too wide, but stays in 4th gear, bit of a good exit, short shifts into 5th. Take a straight braking line. He decides to turn in, not his line, not mine. Run a bit of the curb on the exit. Then Goings is still P4, as Bossman Shaw now is into P2. Elite Shots in P3. Jordan is in P5 or 6 now. Dexter's in P5, and there we go. Round the final corner, a bit wide there for Goings on the curb. Not going to cost him too much. And then there we go. Inverness Fan on pole. Elite Shots in P2. Goings in P3. Bossman Shaw in P4. Dexter, a very good qualifying for himself this season in P5, as it jumps to the end of it there. But let's see what the final results are. And I must say, actually, this season, Alistair really getting on top of his qualifying performances. Very good to see. It's just his races he needs to sort out. And there we go then. Inverness Fan on pole by a 10th.5 from Elite Shots in P2. Alfa Romeo 1-2 there. Goings, probably a bit disappointed to say he's third, half a second off. Bossman Shaw, good result from him in qualifying in P4. Dexter P5. Jordan, very disappointed with P6, I would say, but it's very easy, especially at turn 1 and 2, to get caught up in incidents. Chris Johnson P7. Dom Smith P8. Bazza P9. Angel vs. Steph P10. Red Bull Kim, the last of the people to set times, in P11. Daziet P12. And Kong in P13. So we will see then. It's going to be interesting first few corners. Hopefully we keep it clean, of course. Very easy to miss your braking points, take a bit too much speed in. As we can see, it is dry, of course, for the race. Very cloudy, but there are no chance of rain, I believe, there. So let us see then. As Inverness Fan has left, the pole sitter has left the race, as Elite Shots has also left. Let's see, is anyone else going to disconnect, or is there the only two that are going to disconnect? Red Bull Kim has left. So would this be a restart? 3 people disconnect, we will see. Is anyone else disconnected? No. So there are 3 people. I do believe the rule, as far as I'm aware, is 3 people. So I do believe there will be a restart. There will be a restart for this race. So it's understandable. And I do believe as well, because it is a restart, we are now able to start the race as grid order on this game. They changed it, so you're able to, well, as it were, set your own grid. So that is perfectly fine with regards to that then. And what I'm going to do then, seems though it is going to be a, well, as we can see, some people have started, but it is going to be a restart, as they all know that. And as we can see there, Bossman Shaw gets a 3-second penalty, and he's corner cut in to save his life, but it's not relevant as he's binned it, and it's a restart. So what I'm going to do then is going to quit to the main menu and wait for my new invite, obviously from the host. So yes, what this means, this will take a bit of time to, as it were, get reset up. Obviously changing all the grid to make sure it was the exact same as what it finished on. And I'm sure if people need to know it, they may be able to go on my stream that I'm streaming right now and have a look at the grid if they are confused. So they've always got that to fall back on as well there. So it was going to be very interesting. It was going to be a very interesting race. I think it may still be a very interesting race, but we will have to see in just a few minutes' time once the grid has been reset up and the lights go out for this next race. And no, a bit of a quiet period now, I'd say, in terms of waiting for the race to re-get started, to begin to go, as it were. But yeah. And obviously after this, it's Austria. And let's just talk about a bit of Austria as well, while we're just waiting for the invites and to be reset. So Austria, trick corner cutting, very difficult. A very difficult circuit. Turn 1, for example, you can very easily bin it there. Turn 2, rear end's very snappy. Second to last corner, very easy to get it out of shape there. Go a bit wide, get a corner cut. In fact, it's the same with a lot of circuits. A lot of circuits are the exact same, to be fair. It's very difficult, strict corner cutting. It separates the men from the boys. It separates the pros from the cons. It separates the good from the bad. However, in TGP2, everyone's going for glory. Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants that championship. Everyone wants those wins, wants those pole positions. And to be fair, at every circuit, France, Austria, Silverstone, Germany, especially Germany, you've got to really ring it on the line. If not, you're pretty much screwed. Pretty much screwed. So we will see then. As I am going to have a quick drink away from the mic, as I've been talking non-stop for about half an hour, and I do that as a living. So I will be right back in just a few moments after I've had a drink of water. And I'm back. That was a nice glass of water. And I will say, with regards to this, it is taking a bit of time to get reset back up, but in no time I'm sure we'll get it up and running. Actually, while we are waiting, as it were, let's just have a scroll through the classic cars and the F1 2019 cars. And let's actually go through the classic cars, just because how beautiful they are. Beautiful. Like me. I'm not joking, I'm ugly. I'm very ugly. So, in the moment then, a lot of cars, such as the Brawn, are beautiful. Red Bull, beautiful. McLaren, beautiful. Ferrari, quite ugly, I'm going to be honest. Not the nicest car in 2010. McLaren in 2008 was gorgeous. The Ferrari in 2007 was gorgeous. Renault, gorgeous. If 2004, my hero. I would do a lot of things to that car if I could, such as take lots of photos of it. Just to clarify, Williams 2003, beautiful, and there we go. I've now got an invite, so if you get those classic cars, they're all rubbish. What I care about is the F1 2019 cars and TGP, because it's the perfect league. If anyone's watching this who is not in TGP, by all means, message Dom Smith or TGP Series. Get signed up for this awesome league. I'm actually doing an F2 league at the moment, so quite an interesting one. F2, first time of doing it, first time you can do it on the F1 games. It's an interesting season. Just so you all know, feature and sprint race. Feature race first, sprint race second. Whoever finishes first in the first race qualifies P8 for the second race, and it's providing some spicy results, spicy battles, as you can check it on this website, on our website even, the results. And also, you can check on our YouTube channel on the, obviously, well, I was going to say website again, but it's YouTube, not a website. But you can always check on there to see all the previous races for F2, TGP2 as well, and TGP1 when it's streamed. And yes, to a lot of your surprises, TGP does have a website. Shock horror. No one knows about it. It's secret. It's like Area 51. So, as we see then, I'll see 10 people are in the lobby now. And what I'm going to do is just invite a few people just to make sure they get in the lobby, you know. We want to make sure they're all in correctly. Obviously, with regards to that, as Dom Smith has invited me. Thank you very much, Dom Smith, my beautiful friend. And Chris Johnson has also sent me another invite, and hopefully Chris Johnson does not spam me with 10,000 invites on the stream, and I think he might have, so thank you, Chris Johnson. I don't think I'll not get back in if it lags me out. As F1 Bazza has also sent me an invite, much appreciated. I feel loved, like I've never loved before. So, we will see. So most people are here. Obviously, there's 12 races, not including myself, because I'm a spectator. I'll see. And then soon, I think one or two more people need to join, and then it will be away we go. Obviously, the host will be setting up the grid. Obviously, Dom Smith. And obviously, there we go. Obviously, you can see in the bottom of the screen, custom grid. Obviously, setting the grid to the correct grid that it was qualified from. Obviously, only way to do it. Previous games, you'd have to just redo the entire qualifying session, which was an absolute ball ache. So, fair play to Codemasters. Fair play to Codemasters on redoing it. Obviously, and changing the settings. That is always good to see there. And obviously, I do believe as well, the settings will be the exact same as well. So the settings, obviously, would be cloudy or dry. I think it'll probably be cloudy because it was cloudy. And then obviously, it'll be the perfect start. And actually, one thing I would like to point out, turn 1, as I mentioned in qualifying, in the dry conditions, you get blinded by the sun. You cannot see the apex, so it's very difficult to nail it. However, if it was cloudy like it was supposed to be in the race, it's actually quite easy because you can see what you're looking at. You're not getting blinded by the shiny curbs. You're not getting blinded by the sun, which is always a positive in my eyes. So, yeah, it's always good to see there. And I do believe we're missing maybe one person. Oh no, Daziak has now joined, so that is everyone. I believe there was 14 or 13 races last time, and there's now 13 races this time. And Daziak and Kong do need to pick their cars, but I don't think it really matters as they've readied up. So I think everyone else needs to ready up now, and we've got 25 seconds and counting at the shuttle launch. We're ready to blast off in France. So, looking for an interesting race. The grid was spicy. You had Inverness Fan with another pole position. Elite Shots was in P2. I think one of his best results in qualifying for a good few races. He should have a good result there. Goings, I believe, was in P3 as well there. So, it should also be very interesting. Goings won the last race, won a few other races. That was his 3rd win of this season. And then we're now just waiting for it to load up. And I'm sure everyone probably will be able to load up their setups, seeing as though it was restarted. So they haven't been out on the grid. If not, everyone's running default setups, which is going to be even more spicy. I'm actually hoping it is stuck on default, just because then no one's got any advantage, and it should be even closer. But I'm sure a lot of the drivers probably would want to murder everyone and murder the game and murder me for even suggesting that. But you never know, really. You never know. So, these loading screens take the absolute piece. And I do believe what I'm hearing from the pit lane reporters is the top 10 are all on softs. As that's what they qualified on, so they have to use the same tyres that they qualified on. But not if the top 10, use whatever you want. It's not the rules, so do as you please there. And it is sunny now. Different to what it was. It was cloudy, but it's now sunny. Not going to make much of a difference anyway, as we're looking at the grid, or the pit lane, as we're looking at the Mercedes, then the Ferraris, then the Red Bull, then the Renault garages in the forefront of our shots. And as you can see, the pit lane, it turns halfway down. Probably not the greatest pit lane that they've made, going to be honest. Not sure why it just curves. Same with India. India used to be like that, which was a bit pointless. And a lot of people hated India. Such as myself. Rubbish circuit. Rubbish. So, 3 seconds to go. And I think there are a few people starting on different tyres. So that's going to be an interesting one. As everyone's ready up. There we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away they go. And let's take a look, shall we? Let's go on board with Bossman Sean. Obviously, Going's a bit of lag there. Don't think it's anyone's specific lag. And according to everyone, it is very laggy. As there we go. So not the greatest results there. As the first corner is relatively clean. No one's got front wing damage, which is good to see. But there's quite a bit of lag going on at the moment. As Daziak tries it up the inside of Bossman Sean and spins Bossman Sean. They're not the greatest. Not the greatest there for Bossman Sean. No fault of his own. Obviously, Dexter tried to outbrake, and there's a bit of chaos going on in the mid pack as Angel versus Death nearly spins it. Someone's mic is about to kill themselves. It sounds like they are literally in an oven, burning, and the lag for Angel versus Death and Dexter is horrendous. Let's go back to the front, shall we? With regards to that, it is still Inverness and Elite Shots and Goings still in the top 10, top 3. Obviously, Dom Smith in P4. Not bad for Dom Smith. Not bad, I will say. Not bad at all. And let's have a look then. Kong, Bazza, and Chris Johnson all starting on the mediums. Obviously with that, let's have a look at the position changes, if I can find the correct one for that. Probably not, because I'm an absolute spaz. Obviously with that position change, there we go. So Kong up 8 positions. 8 positions. He's in the wrong car, but it is what it is. Up 8 positions, and someone's mic is literally killing themselves in this party. No one can hear it on the stream, so that's always a positive. It's very distracting. So Kong up 8 positions. Dom Smith in P4. Obviously Bazar in P6. As Inverness Fan sets the fastest lap. And let's have a look. Jordan is down in P8 position at the moment. P8 down 2 positions, as we can see Daziek and Bazar going up. And Chris Johnson is last, so as Bazar and Daziek gets a bit feisty there, as Jordan needs to keep it clean now. Jordan keeps it net very clean. He does not need to get into an instance. As we said, 1 crash, 1 too many corner cuts, and your championship gap will be gone. So let's take a look then. And also there is a Mercedes and a Ferrari of Dexter and Bossman Sean. Very close. This battle, a very tasty battle there. 4 wide nearly, 3 wide nearly, 2 wide nearly, 1 wide really. And it's pretty close. And look at this. Beautiful, beautiful camera. The 2 Mercedes going at it. The Ferrari and the McLaren going at it. Again, Sean needs to keep it very clean. Very clean. No need to point, and he does back out of it. Smart move from Jordan there. There's the Ferrari and Dexter side by side. And looking at the Sean, or should I say Sean, obviously he's got a lot of us. Jordan, they've got 4%. Not good, as Dexter runs very wide there, not what he wants. Bossman Sean up the inside, as we can see on board. Obviously Dexter runs a bit wide there. I don't think he's got any damage. He doesn't. There we go there. And obviously, apparently, I'm hearing there may be team orders at Alfa Romeo. It is 1-2 at the moment. However, Inverness Fan started on pole. He's still in pole. Still in first. So not too bad for Inverness Fan with regards to that. And let's take a look at the lead there. And obviously a bit of lag, as we can see on the stream. As Going sets the new fastest lap, closing up that gap. And DRS is enabled there. We'll actually go on board with Goings, as the top 3 are very tight. Less than a second apart. Apparently Elite Shots is a lot faster, as Going slightly cuts the corner there, not intentional of course. And actually let's look at the ERS. So Inverness Fan is on 38% ERS, Elite Shots on 74% ERS, Going's on 49%, and Dom Smith about 4 seconds behind is on 30%. So it's an interesting use of tactics on ERS at the moment. I think Elite Shots is definitely trying to go with Inverness Fan, as he thinks about going up the inside there. Going up the inside, thinks better of it, waits until the next DRS, and a massive amount of lag there. Not what we want to see. Not what we want to see at all there. And as let's go back, and Bossman, Sean and Daziek, as actually Inverness Fan and Goings, obviously, well, not Goings still behind, but Inverness Fan has been overtaken by Elite Shots. I think it was a very simple move, used more of his ERS. And obviously, yeah, it does appear that he did, as Bossman Sean there, as we can see. We'll quickly go back to Daziek. And oh! Not good by Bossman Sean and Daziek there. I think it was a bit of a side pod glitch there. Not the greatest, but we'll go back to the front as this is tasting up. So, not good for Bossman Sean or Daziek. Not what they wanted, but it is what it is. I think it was more of a racing incident. Again, with the lag, it can be very, very interesting when it comes to that, as Elite Shot sets the fastest lap now, 4 tenths ahead. So we've got a yellow flag. Is that anyone specifically that's not been incident? Obviously, Bossman Sean there does still have all of his wing, I believe, as Chris Johnson gets past him. Obviously, for P9. Let's go back with the front, shall we? As Goings and an Inverness Fan, and there is contact between Inverness Fan and Goings, and they are both around. They are both spun, and really, even though they both spun it, they've barely even lost anything to the next position, because Dom Smith is only getting 1 position from that. Yeah, an interesting one there from Dom Smith, and as he takes out the board marker there. And Dom Smith does have DRS. Not going to matter, because, well, he's about 8 tenths behind, but you know, it's going to help him keep the pace. As Kong then is trying up the inside of Inverness Fan. And I am getting reports that a lot of the drivers are complaining about the lag. Not what you want, but we'll have to try and deal with it for this race until the next race when a new host will be chosen. Like the chosen one, like Jesus Christ, like the Lord Almighty. And then Dom Smith runs it a bit wide there. But not too bad, didn't lose anything, didn't gain anything. It's actually closing up on Goings. Does Goings have front wing damage? I don't think so. I can't see any end plates missing, but you never know. You never know with this game. But it is within a second, but I'm going to go back on board with Kong. And actually, no, I'm going to go back on board with Jordan. Only 1/10 or 4/10 now behind Basil Brush. Basil Brush himself. Obviously, Jordan P7 not where he wants to be. He needs to clear obviously Basil very quick. Is there is a 6-second gap. 6-second gap between, and there we go. Basil does not make it too difficult. Obviously for him there. But yeah, nice and easy. So we're going to go back on board then with, let's see who's close. Obviously, Inverness fan, Dom Smith a second behind. Obviously that gap's staying about the same, so I don't know if Goings does have any sort of wing damage, because he doesn't have the pace that I'd say he should necessarily have. And Dom Smith does get DRS in, but Inverness fan gets DRS on Dom. And, so does Kong. Kong also gets DRS on Inverness fan. Jordan gets no DRS. Bazza gets DRS. Next gets DRS. Everyone gets DRS. Straight out there. Everyone gets DRS. Let's just take a look then. Obviously, Dom Smith only 5/10 them behind at P2 in this. If Dom Smith can either finish P3 or get P2, it's going to be a very, very good result for him. A very good result. I think probably the best of his season, if I am proven wrong. And I'm always wrong at everything because it's me. But according to my sources, my tomato sauce, it would be his best result at the moment then. Obviously Jordan does obviously stay ahead of obviously Bazza in P6. Obviously Inverness fan a second behind Dom Smith. So, I'm not too sure if they might have cut their tyres or damaged them, but I think that may be playing into Dom Smith's hand as Dom Smith does get DRS. Obviously with that in there, well, elite shots. 6 seconds ahead, 6 full seconds ahead of Goings. As Bossman Sean then gets a 3-second or 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Bossman Sean is the first to pit. And actually, let's take a look then at the tyres. So the only person to pit so far is Bossman Sean. As Inverness fan, obviously not too close to Dom Smith. Obviously it's all within a second between 2, 3 and P4. Then obviously King Hoff himself, the Hoffman, the King Kong, is obviously in P5 and he's actually got quite good straight line speed, closing in on Inverness fan. I think he'd be very audacious to try it up the inside. He thinks about it though, and yeah, this is looking out to be a tasty battle. And I'm hearing that apparently Goings does have a bit of front wing damage. It won't be massive. He's got all of his M plates, however, it's definitely going to be yellow, so it's going to have a bit of an effect as Bossman Sean then gets another penalty. Not the greatest for himself there. I must point out, at the moment, Kong's looking like he's got the pace. He's on the medium tyres, and he's keeping up with these guys. As Kong goes up the inside, thinks about it, he nearly makes it stick. Does he make it stick? Not quite then, not quite. And let's actually go on board with Kong. And just to see then Inverness fan as Dom Smith and Goings both peel into the pit. It's a very difficult pit entry, and it does look like both of them made the pit line, which is good. And it's going to be now obviously Kong on Inverness fan as Elite Shot also pits from the lead there. The only times they will go on to is the mediums if they've got any sense, and they all do. Obviously the only logical choice there. And actually Kong is looking very good for this race, as Inverness fan actually gets a 3-second penalty on the exit of turn 2. Again, as I said, very easy to do. Obviously, you just need to keep his cool though. Keep it cool, keep it tidy, keep it neat, keep it smiley. And I do believe then Chris Johnson, here we go. Chris Johnson gets, oh, not quite, but Chris Johnson has not pitted as of yet. Chris Johnson still needs to pitch. That is not a battle I think Dom Smith or Chris Johnson really want to have with regards to this. And oh, let's take a look then. I think Chris Johnson does get out of the way, and Chris Johnson does have actually front wing damage, as you can see there in the left hand side of your screen. So not the greatest. Not sure where he got that. Obviously with that, and then it has allowed Goings to get just over a second gap. But then Chris Johnson is going to get DRS, and Chris Johnson is going back up the inside, and he does back out of it. Obviously, again, Chris Johnson is not in this battle. There's actually no need, no benefit for him to hold anyone up. And there's a yellow flag somewhere. Is it anyone specifically? As Kong still right behind him, Vanessa, and it's Rebel Kim at the back getting straight off the circuit, nearly taking out the ball marker, but he misses it. Well, that's good for Rebel Kim there, so that's positive. And Kong stays out, of course. Inverness fan has now got a speeding penalty, so it goes from bad to worse from Inverness fan. But Kong looking good for, I'd say, a top 4 at least. I can't remember what the tyre was like right now. I don't think it's particularly great. It's not particularly great round here, and we're actually going to go back on board with Dominic Smith, 93. The lag is horrendous on the stream. Obviously, just 1.3 seconds behind, not quite in DRS, but we'll see what it's like. And Chris Johnson then is in the pits, as we can see there. Will he change his front wing? I would probably say he needs to, as Goings right ahead of Inverness fan. Goings has jumped Inverness fan, obviously, which is, to be fair, to be expected. I'm going to be honest with yourself there. And then now Dom Smith needs to get in. However, Inverness fan will be on slightly fresher tyres by a lap. Not going to be much of a difference. However, this race, Inverness fan did get pole, so it's not as if he's going to drop away from Goings. Obviously, Inverness fan does have a bit of pace, and he's going to get DRS as well. So let's just stay on board there with Inverness fan. DRS about to be wide open. There we go. It's open. Goings runs a bit defensive there, way too early, but he may as well. Obviously, it's back on the racing line. Nothing to worry about there for Goings. Obviously, with regards to that, Goings just had a bit more us than Inverness fan. Not hugely, about 10-15%. However, in my eyes, as Chris Johnson then gets a 3-second time penalty in 12th position, not what he wanted there. Obviously, so far, I mean, no points for Chris Johnson. And there we go. Then Inverness fan, is he going to try it up the inside? I think he's going to try it. He thinks about it. Goings turns out of the corner and obviously allows Inverness fan through. I think very smart from Goings there. There's no need to get into any incidents unnecessarily, as actually taps the rear end of Inverness fan, and obviously he does back out of it because he thinks, actually, I don't want to overtake him. I did push him. Good driver from Goings. Good driver from Goings there. Obviously for that, but it is allowed Dom Smith. It is allowing Dom Smith to close up though, and I'm hearing the lag for everyone, like you can see on the stream, is terrible as well. Lag, but it is what it is. And here we go then, Goings up the inside. And oh my god, King Kong himself has came out of the pits. Dom Smith is, well, as we can see, it's an interesting, very interesting there. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Not really sure. Is it going to be catch feet? No, it's fine. That's perfect fine then. So that was interesting for a few seconds. And Inverness fan has actually got ahead of Goings then. So we missed that with all the interesting camera angles going on right now. As Kong and Dom Smith not sure if they're battling or not. I would say yes. I would say no. I would say I don't know what's going on. I'd also say it's Wednesday night, soon be the weekend. This is interesting, but I think it is costing Dom Smith a bit of time trying to navigate the Renault. However, Kong is on the better tyres now, so he's on his inside. Kong is on Dom's inside right now. I think Dom backs out of it just to be on the safe side. And obviously Kong does go through by about 3/10, so Dom can run his own race now, run those racing lines, and I'm sure he will be perfectly fine. Obviously Jordan closed up. Let's have a look then as Ferrari and the Mercedes, Bossman Sean and Dexter having a bit of a ding dong. Dexter runs a bit wide. Will Sean go around the outside? I believe he'll try it. He does keep it. A bit of contact there, a bit of a squeeze, but nothing too bad, nothing to worry about there. And Bossman Sean makes that stick. However, Bossman Sean's tyres are 1 lap older than Dexter, so I think Bossman Sean has got the pace. He's got 2.7 seconds to close to Bazar, and another 2.5 to Jordan, the championship leader. I'm hearing that I don't think it's going to make much of a difference for Sean due to penalties, but we will see. Anything can happen. So another 3 and a bit laps to go as Daziak, there we go, in the bottom left, as you can see. We'll actually go back on board with Goings, shall we? As he's only half a second behind Inverness fan. As we can see, Elite Shots is 8.3 seconds ahead of Inverness fan now. And here we go, Goings in obviously mode 2. Not quite there. I think Goings is going to save it all for the last couple of laps. Goings gets a 3-second time penalty. Not what he wants there. Not what he wants with that. However, if I do remember correctly, I think Inverness fan, I'm not sure if he does have one or not. We'll actually see at the end of the race. I don't want to jinx it. Yes, I do believe he's sped in the pit lane actually. Yes, I do believe he does have penalties. Obviously, he is speed in the pit lane as well there. So I think Goings, as long as Goings stays within the time that he needs to, I think he's going to have him, but again, we saw when these two went side by side last time, it didn't end particularly well for either of them. But they're still in P2 and P3, so it cost nothing at all. So winning for either of them. So obviously Kong, we should go on board with Kong, shall we? As he's on the better tyres, he's on the soft tyres. Will he have the pace difference to really go for it? As Jordan is pitting again. Does he have front wing damage? I can't see because it won't let me go off board with him. But Jordan then somehow from P6 is pitting, and we'll actually see, does he have a change of front wing? No he doesn't. So an interesting call there for, as he's not going, so Jordan is not going. A very slow stop for Jordan there. But what we'll do then, we'll go back to Kong, is he's right up the arse of Goings and Inverness fan. However, Jordan comes out of the pit in P9. He's just about to get attacked by, well, as Chris Dom Smith then gets an interesting penalty. And there we go then. Inverness fan goes defensive. Goings tries to go around the outside. A bit of contact there. Makes it stick though. Will Inverness fan try and hold it around the outside? He tries it. Not quite. They're still side by side. And obviously this is going to, well, it could end in catastrophe. It could end in very good battles. Let's go. Actually, stay on board, really. Let's stay on board. So they're still side by side. Is Goings as, ooh, Inverness fan, is he going to try it around the outside there? And oh, Goings has spun it. Goings has spun it. Obviously, slight contact between Inverness fan and Goings there. I don't think it was anyone's fault with that. So obviously, Dom Smith is in P4, and Inverness fan has a penalty. So Dom may end up getting a podium position if he doesn't lose any time there. So let's stay on board with Kong, shall we? Is this still the fastest battle? And obviously, we'll see. Will Kong be able to get up the inside on the DRS straight in a few corners' time? We shall see. We shall see, but you'd think Kong would have the pace on the basis that, well, it was on the soft tyres, but Inverness fan had the pace to get pole, so it should be an interesting one. I think Inverness fan is really trying to hold his own here. I think Inverness fan is being more aggressive than he usually is, and I think, I think he needs to be that because he just lets people overtake him left, right, in centre. So we shall see. Goings has dropped down to P5. It's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world for Goings. He is in P5, however, it's not what he wanted. Also, he was looking for P2. It's actually Kong then, as we slightly missed it, is going up the inside. As Inverness fan tries to, an Inverness fan there, beautiful from Inverness fan. We'll go off board for a bit, and oh, side by side, that is a very good little battle between Inverness and Kong. Obviously side by side through that chicane. Will Inverness fan be able to hold him back now, or even attack him now that he's ahead? It's going to be an interesting one. I don't think he will. I think now Kong will be able to, run his lines, run his pace, and pull away. Of course, only a lap and a bit to go as Elite Shots is about to start his last lap. However, we will take a look then, and actually we're gonna go on board with Goings because he is closing slightly on Dom. 1 lap to go. I think it's going to be decisive on who gets the podium this battle is. Obviously, Dom is only 3.9 behind Inverness fan. I'll see, so it should be interesting. I think Inverness fan will still finish at least in P5. It's not all bad for him, but it could have been a lot better from yet again pole position. But Goings, 7/10 gap, 1 lap to go. 1 lap to go, and I do believe Goings does already have 1 penalty anyway. So it should be interesting. Goings and Dom Smith does have a penalty, I believe. Obviously with that, so it's whoever finishes ahead of who in this battle will get that final podium positioning. Goings try to think up the inside there, and that's cost him a bit of time. About 3 attempts it cost him. Will this be his only chance gone? He's going to have DRS. He's in overtake, or he's in high actually. And here we go, and there is a bit of, as you can see, interesting camera angles going on. Will he try up the inside? I think it's too dangerous, and a bit of a move there from Dom Smith. I don't think it was intentional, of course. I don't think it's ever intentional, but it is what it is. But here we go. Is Goings going to try and get up the inside? Is he going to try up the inside? Is he going to try up the inside in this one of the last overtaking spots? He's thinking about Dom Smith goes defensive. He's going to try. Is he going to try? No, he's not. Dom Smith keeps it on the circuit, and I don't think the only other place that he really can overtake is the last corner. Will Goings size him up as there's a bit of lag there. Goings is inside Dom Smith. They're not making babies, though. They're not making babies. As Dom Smith runs it a bit wide there. I'm not too sure what's happening. I don't know. I don't care. It's an exciting battle. And Dom Smith goes defensive. And I do believe, unless he gets... Oh! Goings there. And I do believe Goings there. Very, very good from Goings. Oh, and because of that, Inverness fan, I do believe kept P3. However, I don't... And I'm not sure if... I'm not too sure if the unserved penalty for speeding does get added on at the end or not. I know the game is a bit dodgy sometimes, but that has cost both of them. Both of them, it's cost them their chance of a P3 and P4. So as Jordan gets a fastest lap, however, Jordan only finishes P9 and P10. So we're waiting for the final car to finish, coming around the last corner as Angel versus Death. As Jordan did finish P9, not very good for the McLarens this time, P9 and P10, but they're still easily ahead in the Constructors. And I'm hearing, according to Chris Johnson's team radio, he does not like France. He's not very good at France, and I don't think anyone particularly likes France too much as a driver. And I don't like that. But here we go then. Alfa Romeo 1-3. The Renault of, obviously, somebody. My mind's gone blank. Obviously, Kong, P2. He shouldn't be in there. He should be in the, obviously, Force India in terms of that. So, we shall see them in terms of that. So that is the podium then. And we will take a rundown of the grid as Elite Shot leaves. So I think he probably is going to set up the lobby again. Obviously due to that lag. And there we go then. The rundown. Elite Shots first. Kong second. Inverness fan P3. Dom Smith P4 from 8th on the grid. P5 is Goings, very disappointed. A few incidents in that race, but it's not all over for Goings, of course. Bazar, a very good position in P6. Dexter P7. Bossman Sean in P8 after qualifying P4. Not where he wanted to be. A disappointing race for Jordan. He's still got a good gap in the standings, so it's not all over for him. Chris Johnson in P10, again disappointing for both of the McLarens there. Daziet P11. Angel vs P12, and of course Red Bull Kim in last position there. So the next race is the one and only Austria. A very interesting circuit, slipstream heaven, very difficult to pull away from people, very easy to make mistakes, and very easy to get penalties by slightly track extending. So it's an interesting one, and Jordan got the fast lap in that race as well, obviously with regards to that. So we will see then, and I do believe there is going to be a brand new party, or not party, a lobby. So Dom Smith doesn't host as his connection cannot handle it. He no longer lives in the Isle of Man. However, he does live in London. And you know what they say about people in London? They're down south. And their internet shit. Well, actually, it's really good, but it's not the point. His internet is bad. Goddamn Roger. Roger Telecoms. It's called Roger Telecoms. Is his internet. And it's pretty bad because Roger clearly does not pay the bills very well because his internet is appalling. I think if I was renting anyone or any apartment or rooms or house from anyone, the first thing I expect is a goddamn good internet. And luckily for me, I am with Virgin, but they charge so much. It's a necessary sacrifice, obviously for that. And as we are waiting for the new lobby to be set up and new invites to be sent out, let's take a moment to reflect on tonight's racing so far. There's been drama, there's been rain, there's been excitement, there's been boringness, there's been cars, there's been circuits, there's been everything. You've had a bit of everything tonight. You've had a bit of everything. Sometimes you want circuits, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want dirt circuits, sometimes you want bikes, sometimes you want cars. You never know, really. You never know. But we will see. We will see then. So the next circuit is Austria. Austria is a circuit that I particularly do enjoy. It's very basic, like a basic bitch. It's very easy to overtake. It's very easy to bottle it, especially at turn 1. And to be fair, the fact that it's one-shot qualifying as well, Austria, a lot of heavy braking zones where it's easy to miss your apex, easy to brake too early, easy to brake too late. It should be a very interesting qualifying. However, so far tonight, Inverness fan has been the one and only pole sitter, pole position in both races so far. He's shown his speed on one lap. However, he's not quite shown his speed in the race. He did well in France for a few laps. However, he needs to manage his ERS a lot better. I've noticed that with Inverness Fan. His ERS management isn't quite there. He needs to use it a bit more in certain areas, a bit less in other areas. But the standout in my eyes for tonight's racers is, of course, Goings. The American, the one and only American in TGP this season. He's obviously not quite where he wanted to finish in France. Got into a couple of incident-packed race for him. It happens. You're trying to push as hard as you can. It does happen. It's part of racing there, of course, with regards to that. And obviously, there is 13 people. I'm not too sure if we are missing someone. I think we may be missing someone. As last race there was 13 drivers. Now there's only 13 people with that, but apparently it's not. So once everyone readies up, we should get going with regards to that. And according to the lobby, it is Bossman Sean, late to the party. So we will see what the situation is in this race. It should be an interesting one. And again, I'll quickly go down the constructors before tonight. 193 points for McLaren. Toro Rosso was 103, 90 points off that. I think it's not really changed much. Obviously, in the two races so far, as Chris Johnson spams me with invites again. Thank you, Chris Johnson. I appreciate it. Definitely not gonna disconnect with my Virgin Media connection, unlike Dom Smith or anyone else. So countdown of 8 seconds, T minus 5 seconds, and then we will get going. And the question is, again, as I always say before every single race, because it is a word that I love, wet. Is it going to be wet? Is it going to be dry? We will find out in just a few seconds. And I will say, some people do not like this word, but will it be moist? That's going to be the question. And I'm hearing from a lot of people want Red Bull Kim to get pole. So, question is, will Red Bull Kim get pole in Austria? It's a very easy circuit. He always does complain about people with TC and assists. This is the one. Oh, and it's wet. It's fully wet, it looks like. Will it be inters? Will it be wet? I think it may be fully wet because it's very wet, very moist. So, here we go then. So apparently it's a wet qualifying and a dry race. This could be a very interesting quali. Not sure who use ABS in this league. Probably quite a few people. My pet peeve, that ABS peasants I call them. However, I think a lot of people are probably going to struggle in this session. A lot of people are going to struggle. And once everyone readies up, we shall see. And turn 1. Just waiting for Inverness Fan, Dexter and Red Bull Kim to ready up, as it were. Now it's Red Bull Kim. And there we go then. So, here we go then. So who are we going to go on board with? Let's have a look. We're going to go on board with, let's say, Jordan. Just for the sake of it. As a bit of an interesting line through turn 1. As I'm hearing Bossman Sean is already in the wall at turn 1. At turn 1, Sean was in the wall. Not too sure. There's no walls at turn 1, unless you're very far off the circuit. As Jordan and the McLaren of Chris Johnson are, well, I was going to say near the front, but Chris Johnson just bottled it at turn 2. It was in P1 just then, never mind. As Inverness Fan is in P2. And actually, Goings all the way down in P10 at the moment. Not where he wants to be. As Jordan, the championship leader, the championship favourite, is in P1. So it's looking good for him. Will he keep it in pole? Let's have a look. And actually, I'd say he's got a bit of a gap on Inverness Fan, about 2 to 3 tenths. So as long as he keeps it neat and tidy, he should be looking good for a good qualifying position. Dom Smith in P4 battling close with Dexter and Bazra as well there. The two Mercedes, obviously with that, and Inverness Fan now has gone into P1. 2 corners to go. Who's going to be on pole? Who's going to be second? Who's going to be third? Who's going to be 10th? We don't know. It could be anyone. And Goings all the way down in P9 still. Now he's in P7. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? It's going to be Inverness Fan. Jordan P2, Buzzer P3, and Goings all the way down in P8. So that is 3 pole positions in a row tonight. Alistair, or Inverness Fan, as is more commonly known for PSN, has got pole position in every single race, so very good. I think he's taking a lot of his feedback on board from his brother. So Inverness fan, 3 attempts on pole. Jordan, where he needs to be in P2. Bazar, very, very good result. Very good result in P3. Elite Shots, P4. Dexter, P5. Dom Smith, bit disappointed, apparently, with P6. Chris Johnson, P7, bit disappointed, but he always has that on there. Goings in P8, not where he wants to be, 1.5 seconds off pole position. Kong in P9, Introverted Steph P10, Rebel Kim, the last of people to set lap times in P11, Bossman Sean, binned it at turn 1 in a wall. There's no walls near the circuit, but it is what it is. And Desiek in P13. And we're going to just say at the moment, Goings is in the mid-pack. Turn 1 and turn 2, it could be very, very interesting to see exactly what the situation is. And of course, it is a drive race as mentioned earlier. So it should be an interesting one to see what is going to happen into turn 1 and turn 2. And actually, you know something? I'm going to do something different this week. I'm going to follow Goings on board for the first 2 corners just to see how well he fares. Obviously, not where he wanted to finish in France, not where he wanted to finish in qualifying in Austria just a moment ago. Where will he want to finish in the race? It should be an interesting one. It should be a tight one. It should be a close one. And I will say good luck to every single driver on the grid because it's going to be an interesting, tight, moist race, I'd say. It's not going to be moist because it's going to be dry. But I love the word moist. I just sort of thought, pop it in there. Pop it in there. And there we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and lights are out. And we don't have any Mario Kart music this time. As Rebel Kim jump start already. Not what he wanted. And there we go then, Goings on board or not. There we go, up the inside of one car already, into P8. There we go, nice and tidy for the most part in the lead. A bit of lag from Dom Smith there, but that is the only person who's lagging, so nothing too major from there, and he stopped already. Kong is up the inside of Goings. Goings up the inside is... Oh, Goings may have... I don't think he tapped Dom Smith there, may have been Dom with regards to that. As Bossman Sean already spun then, and Inverness fan has already got a good lead to Jordan. And let's just take a look then. That's the worst camera angle ever. And let's stay on board with Goings for a bit longer. There's not really any battles throughout the field as of yet that are worth watching. Dom Smith right on the inside as Goings almost up the inside of Kong. Thought better of it. And Dom Smith is having a bit of a ding-dong with it. Dexter. There's a bit of an interesting line there from Dom Smith. Maybe a bit of lag going on there. As Goings still in P9. Not too far off the race one, of course, as it is Austria, and it's very close, and corners are non-existent. But we will see as Inverness fan then sets the fast lap 1.1 seconds ahead of Jordan as Elite Shots then thinks about a move, and there's a yellow flag. I'm not going to watch on board with that because I think it's Bossman Sean coming into the pits. Yes, it is. And then here we go, Elite Shots is going to use as much of his ERS as possible. I get, there we go, he's in overtake, 55% up the outside, inside, upside, downside, never know these days. And I do believe he doesn't quite make it stick as F1 Bazar nearly runs out of road there. And it's a bit of a queue falling behind Elite Shots at the moment, as Elite Shots is actually now into P2. But again, I think at the moment Jordan just needs a good result. Forget about everything else. Keeping the rhythm, and then you'll be fine. And Goings not really making any inroads into the obviously his teammate Kong in front, as Rebel Kim is already pitted, just like Bossman Sean. So obviously Rebel Kim on the mediums, they're not going to last to the end, as far as I'm aware. But let's just take a look then at Jordan. And actually, yeah, there's a bit of a train at the moment. No real overtakes going on. Nothing major at all. As I've just been invited to a party, apologise for that. I'll be going after this race, but not now. So here we go then, as the Mercedes try and go side by side. That is the worst camera angle ever. That is the worst camera angle ever. And that is the best camera angle ever. And it is, DRS. Let's go on board with Dom Smith, 93. He's going to try up the inside of Dexter. He's thinking about it. He's going for it. He didn't quite make it stick. But it was close. A little bit of confidence. And then Chris Johnson right behind Dom Smith now. Chris Johnson looks like he's got a bit more straight line speed than Dom Smith. And Dom Smith goes defensive. Thinks about going around the outside. Slightly misjudged that, did Chris Johnson. I don't think there's any damage at all there, so that's not too bad for Chris Johnson. Obviously Rebel Kim has pitted a second time. It shows on the column on the left. And yes, a bit of a procession at the moment. I think it will come alive at the pit stops though. Obviously with regards to that. we shall see. Obviously, what the situation is at the pit stops as Dom Smith runs it a bit wide there. Obviously, as Inverness Fan sets another fast lap, 1.4 seconds ahead of Elite Shots now, his teammate Inverness Fan. I'm not going to try and jinx it, but Inverness Fan has to win this race as Dexter gets a 3-second time penalty in P5. Obviously, 3-second time penalty there, but I'd say if Inverness Fan does not win this race, then he's more of a bottle drop than Jean-Luc Taylor, as Dom Smith gets very close to the back of Dexter there on the brakes. But I think Dexter was probably being a bit cautious behind his teammate Bazza, as Bosman Sean gets a 3-second penalty there. But at the moment, then the gap to the top two is staying about 1.4 seconds. Not too quick, and we're going to go on board and have a look at the tyres. So everybody other than Goings, Daziek, Bossman Sean and Rebel Kim, everyone else is on soft tyres. Obviously Goings start on mediums, obviously, which is, you know, not a bad shout, but I don't think you'd really want to start on the mediums if you're not going to make any progress, sadly, and I don't think he's actually gaining time. I think he's losing time to his teammate, it looks like. But again, everyone's got DRS. It's quite difficult. Let's go on board with Chris Johnson, shall we, as Dom Smith there. Very interesting. Very interesting. And Goings gets a 3-second penalty. Kong gets a 3-second penalty. Yeah, that's an interesting one there. But there we go then. Obviously, Chris Johnson is struggling to get past Dom Smith. Not surprising there. Not surprising, as Dom Smith will he get the run on Dexter? Not quite there. Not quite. And actually, Elite Shots now is only a second behind his teammate Inverness Fan. So he's closed about 3 to 4 tenths on this lap so far. We'll see the ERS for the teammates are relatively the same by about 10%. Obviously, so Jordan though is within a second of Elite Shot still. Will he try to go up the inside at any corner on this next lap? Will he have the DRS? We will see. He's only 6 tenths behind. I think he should get DRS, and he does have DRS on that main straight, as you can see in the bottom right. That's good for him. Elite Shots does not have DRS on Inverness Fan. Bazza does not have, obviously, DRS on him. But then Dexter does have DRS on his teammate. And Dom Smith does have DRS on the next one, as Bazza gets a 3-second time penalty at turn 1. Not what he wanted there. Not what he wanted. And I do believe he is maybe letting him through. Will he try back up the inside? No. Ooh, he thinks about it. That's the worst shittiest camera angle ever. And Dom Smith then is the next on Bazza's list, or Dom's the next on Dom's list, because Dom has lists. So we will take there, and we'll obviously quickly go back to P11. Bossman Sean up the inside, nice and easy. That's the worst camera angle ever on Daziak, and he makes it stick. Nice move from Bossman Sean. They both run a bit wide, but then, well, that was an interesting one there. So just cough there. So not a good line there from Bossman Sean on the exit. Cost himself a lot. But then we're going to go, and Bazza then nearly losing it. Well, nearly losing it. He did lose it. So Bazza really struggling there. Clearly, very easy to get a bit out of shape there. But we'll go back on board. And Jordan spun it. At the last corner. He was closing on Inverness Fan and Elite Shots in P2, and he spun it. Not what he wanted. This is what I mean. This is what I said at the start of tonight's streaming. 1 or 2 races, you bottle it, you have incidents, and your title lead comes down. As we're going on go ball with Goings there, and Goings then is not even interested in it. As Chris Johnson has actually picked for the hards, according to his team radio. He's not happy with that decision. Not happy at all. Not happy. So he's on hards for no apparent reason. I will say, everybody check your goddamn MFDs to ensure that you do not get put on hards. It happens all the time, and it is the worst thing to ever happen. Happened to be in China last season there. But we're going to go on board then with we'll go on board with Dom Smith, still behind Dexter, and Dom Smith on the cards for another podium. Will he get one? Remains to be seen. So we shall see then. We're actually going to stay on board then with Dom Smith, as Dexter runs a bit wide there, very wide, and keeps it on circuit. In the end, not too bad. But DRS is open for Dom Smith. Will he try up the inside? I think it would be a stupid move to start up the inside. And very early breaker from Dexter, and there is a yellow flag. And Dom Smith got a 3-second time penalty there. They're running slightly wide. Very easy to do. Obviously not the greatest, so I think Dom Smith might have just bottled his podium yet again. Yet again. He spoke too soon. And obviously Dexter relinquishing that position as Bossmaster retires from the second race in a row there with that. And going then into P5, that's perfectly fine there with regards to that. And obviously 1-2, nothing's going on at the lead. There's about a 4-second gap. There's no battle going on. Not yet anyway. Not yet anyway. They are still 4/10. 4/10 gap, Dom Smith. By the way, just for the stream's point of view, I'm in a party with everyone in TGP2 at the moment, and Dom Smith's saying there's a battle going on. I don't see no battle. Don't see no battle at all. It's a 4/10 gap. There's no battle going on. No battle as Dom Smith gets up the inside of obviously, or Dexter, should I say? Well, nothing even happened. Shut up, Dom Smith. Pipe down. Leave me alone. So Dom Smith goes into the pits, and Goings is obviously back into P4, and he's on the mediums, but I think he will go back down. I hope you die. Not the stream. I hope all the stream lovers and people who are watching this are perfect. I'm just not a fan of Dom Smith. Peasant really. He's a peasant. Anyway, back to the racing at hand. Chris Johnson is still unhappy with his hard tyres with regards to that. King Kong himself is in P9. Daziek is in the pits and is left as he enters the pit, so I think he may have just called it quits with regards to that. And then, well, the gap's still around 3/10 at the front, so we'll go on board with Elite Shots just for the time being, and I think one of them may pit this lap as they are on very old tyres, and it is Elite Shots and Elite Shots into the pits from P2. Nice and easy there. Nice and easy. Will he get a penalty? No, he closes down nice and easy there. As Dexter is also in the pit, so Goings now moves up to P3. He's been on those tyres and now's not into P2 actually. Obviously he's been on those tyres for 9 laps. He should be on the better tyres at the end. But I think around here the gap between the tyres isn't that great and it doesn't make much of a difference. It's obviously not what you really want, especially if you've got to close the gap. And yeah, at the moment, the closest battle is Angel vs Death. And Chris Johnson's going to say 3-second penalty there. Angel vs Death has not pitted. He's on his soft for 9 laps. Elite Shots will pull away. So yet again, I must point out, it's not a good race for the championship leader. Obviously, Jordan has been on those laps, tyres, 9 laps. And on top of that, he was looking for a podium. And now he's looking for a top 10. So it's an interesting challenge for Jordan. I think he's proving a way to bottle a championship so far. Obviously, last race he finished what? P8. This race is in P10 after spinning it on his own. Not too sure what happened there, to be honest with yourself. And let's have a look at Goings. Goings into the pits there, as Inverness Fan also pits, and Inverness Fan should come out. Not in the... Will he quite the lead? We'll take a look. Let's have a look. You can see there on the right-hand side, Inverness Fan coming out of the pits. It's going to be very close, and I think Elite Shots will have the slipstream on Inverness Fan. Will Inverness Fan go defensive into turn 2? I think he needs to. Is he going to? I don't think he is. Is he? No, he doesn't, and Elite Shots thinks better of it as Inverness Fan runs it slightly wide there, onto the curb, still gets a good... And somehow, Inverness Fan runs very wide and gets a 3-second time penalty, and then Elite Shots then up the inside of his teammate. Nice little battle there. Obviously, Elite Shots then up the inside. It's still side by side between the two, obviously, drivers in the Alfa Romeo. And Elite Shots then makes it stick. So Inverness Fan there, bit of a struggle, a 3-second time penalty. And actually, Dom Smith is only just over 3 seconds behind Inverness Fan. Inverness Fan has a 3-second penalty. Will that matter at the end? We will see. So, let's take a look at the field then. So the only person on the softs is Goings. Goings is P4, 2.2 behind Dom Smith. Will it matter? Will it close up? Will there be a battle? We'll wait and see. And Dom Smith is Dom Smith. If anyone can do it, it's Dom Smith, because Dom Smith, and everyone likes Dom Smith. And let's just say, Chris Johnson is in P5 on the hard tyres. Dom Smith is actually, as well, Chris Johnson and Dexter. Dexter has overtaken Chris Johnson now. 1.8 gap to Goings. Will Dexter on those medium tyres be able to handle the Goings, the American, the Freedom? And never mind, Dexter nearly spins it and allows Chris Johnson nearly up the inside again. So very, very close there. And then somehow, Inverness fan back ahead of Elite Shots. An interesting battle there. Interesting. We shall see a 10th gap. Ooh, some strong words from Dom Smith. Strong words from Dom Smith on the team radio there. He's saying he hopes he does not get taken out by the American. Bit of casual racism there, not what we want. I do not condone that in TGP at all. As Going sets the fastest lap, 1.3 seconds is the gap to Dom Smith. This is going to be a tasty, a juicy, American beef-filled battle, I'm sure, with Dom Smith. And the gap then is a bit closer between the top two. Not quite a battle yet, as Bazza gets another penalty there, 3-second penalty. Half a second between Elite Shots and Inverness. Dom Smith, yeah, not much of action between the top two at all. No battles going on. At all. Until I see some battles. Yeah, still no battles for Dom. Anyway, Goings then is 1.1 position. And actually, good pull. I'm actually gonna go over to Red Bull Kim. You know, the one and only Red Bull Kim, best overtake ever. Obviously with regards to that, and actually want to go back on with Goings. I want to watch Goings overtake and destroy Dom Smith, so let's stay on board with that, shall we? It's only 5/10 between them. Goings on the better tyres, on the softs. He's 2 laps younger as Dom Smith runs wide there. Carefully might get another penalty, don't want that, Dom Smith. So let's see then, as Dom Smith getting a bit raggedy there out of the final few corners. 7/10 though is the gap, and he's only 2.4 behind Elite Shots, who is right behind then. Obviously Inverness fan, will he try up the inside of turn 2? We shall see. Is Inverness going to go defensive? No, he doesn't. Inverness fan decides not to go defensive at all. However, Elite Shots backs out of it. Not too sure why he did that. I think Elite Shots is biding his time. He's waiting. He's lurking like a shark. He's going to pounce on the last lap, and he's going to win. So we shall see though. And then Goings then right behind the Dominic Smith, the Manx man, the one and only, the leader of TGP, the dictatorship of TGP. And is he going to try and go around the outside? His Goings, he thinks about it, not quite. We're going to go a bit off-board, as we don't do off-boards too much in my streams. And that is a shocking camera angle. And there we go then. So, Dom Smith under some serious pressure from the American. And we will see Dom Smith not taking a very good line into that second last point. It's costing him a bit, but there's no real way to overtake in that last corner anyway, so not too bad. There is Chris Johnson gets a 3-second time penalty. Not what he wants there is, I don't know which part to follow, the lead or the fight for third. I think I'm going to watch the fight for the lead as Goings has just dropped 3/10 to Dom Smith. As Elite Shots doesn't try a move. Goings fakes up the inside, tries to distract Dom, doesn't quite make it stick. However, he's going to have DRS and he gets a better exit there. Oh, this is going to be a bit of a move. He's going to try. Dom Smith goes very defensive. Don't blame him there. As Goings round the outside. Dom Smith tries to hang it on the inside there. Very good defensive driving there. But Goings, he's going to try it round the outside again, is he? We shall see. Will Dom Smith brake later? Goings tries it round the outside. And Goings makes it stick. A good move from Goings there. A good move from Goings. He is on the fast tyre, but nonetheless, a fantastic move. And, well, Dexter then 4 seconds behind at the moment then. Let's go back on board with the Alfa Romeos. And you'll see it is a half a second gap with them. But I think Elite Shots is definitely biding his time at the moment. I think he could have very easily overtaken Inverness fan up until now. I don't think he actually has to overtake him anyway, because Inverness fan does have a penalty. Dom Smith then gets a 3-second penalty. And here we go then. Elite Shots round the outside. Easy move. Will Inverness fan try back up the inside? No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it. Smart from there. Smart. But then Inverness fan will get the DRS out of turn 2. But Elite Shots does have far better traction there. However, will Inverness fan, there we go. Will Elite Shots go defensive? No, he doesn't. Will Inverness fan go up the inside? A bit of lag there. Yes, Inverness fan goes back up the inside. A good little battle here. I feel like a goddamn auctioneer because I'm speaking so fast. I do apologise. But it was a very good battle there. Obviously, Inverness fan holding his own, as Dom Smith is terrible and is in P4. I don't think we need to watch that battle anymore, as Rebel King gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits there, and we will keep it on for P2. There's not really too many battles, and yes, Andy, I'm streaming, what do you want? Yeah, look at the stream. And it is the one and only Ginger Andy asking me questions as we look at Inverness Fan not going defensive up the inside at turn 1. He runs a bit wide. Careful, he may get a penalty. In fact, he does not get a penalty, but Elite Shots will now have DRS, and there is a lap car of, I believe, a Rebel Kim coming up, and Elite Shots them right up the inside. Nice and easy. Will Inverness Fan try it around the outside? Keep it up there. No, he doesn't. He will get DRS though. So let's just take a look, and going to just close the gap massively, 1.1 seconds, nearly in DRS with regards to that. And will Inverness Fan try up the inside of turn 2? He does. A good battle there yet again, obviously from the top 2. However, Inverness Fan does go a bit wide. Elite Shots going to try and run that side, and Elite Shots back up the inside. I think Inverness Fan may have had a bit of wheel spin there. However, you've got the lap car of Rebel King coming up, so that could play a role in the DRS. And well, Goings now only half team. We're actually going to go on board with Goings. You know, I'd say one of the championship favourites. He's got good pace. He's got good speed. 1 lap to go, though. 1 lap to go, I must point out, as he runs slightly wide there. He will get Inverness Fan, as Inverness Fan does have a penalty. But let's take a look then. The last lap, the top 3 separated by less than a second. Inverness Fan up the outside there. And there we go then. Look at this battle. Absolutely beautiful. Goings up to P2, and let's go on board with Elite Shots. He does have DRS. Will he go up Goings? Con gets a penalty. Obviously, Inverness Fan does have a bit of a gap. Will anyone try up the inside of Inverness Fan? I don't think. Goings goes defensive. Inverness Fan keeps P1. Elite Shots, bit of a nudge there, but nothing too major. And there we go. And Dom Smith closing up, so Goings may actually, well, Goings doesn't have a penalty. Inverness Fan does have a penalty though, so if Goings stays in P2, he will win the race. And I think it's looking like that at the moment, because Elite Shots is nowhere near him into turn 3. So Dom Smith may get his 1 podium he was wanting. But this battle then looks like it may be over as Jordan gets another penalty, not what he wants in P10. But as it stands at the moment, Goings will win the race. Elite Shots will be 2nd. Dom Smith probably won't be 3rd as he's got a penalty. So Dom Smith ruining his own chances at a podium yet again. However, P4, I'm sure, as Goings gets a penalty. Goings gets a penalty. Goings gets a penalty on the last corner, and that ruins it. Goings gets a penalty, and Dom Smith actually finishes P4. So Goings still gets a podium, but finishes P3, and Elite Shots wins the race. Goings ruined his only chance at a win. If he'd have stayed there, he would have won. And sadly, the last corner Goings ruined his own win. He's not going to be happy with that at all. However, Elite Shots and the Alfa Romeo team are 1-2 today. What he needs to there. What a finish that race. Perfect finish there. Goings not the greatest of obviously results he wanted. However, it is what it is. You know, he made a mistake. It cost him very dearly. And there we go, the podium. We've got two Scottish actually. 2. Scott 1-2 there. And somebody in P3 of Goings, the American. As you can see, Goings there, when he clapping his hand on the right side, was not happy with regards to that. So there we go then. So here's the results with regards to the race results. Elite Shots P1. Inverness Fan P2. Goings massively disappointed with P3. He did come from P8 on the grid though, but quite disappointing. He bottled it on the last lap, on the last corner. Very bad. Dom Smith P4, Chris Johnson P5, Bazza P6, Dexter P7, Kong P8, Angel vs Steph P9, Jordan, the championship leader. Bottle job of this season so far, bottle job of this week is in P10. Daziek P11, Rebel Kim in P12, and Bossman Sean in P13. So not really what he wanted to do, as it were. However, they are all the races done for tonight. We've done Canada, we've done France, we've done Austria. Next week, on the 20th of November, we will have Britain, Germany, and Hungary. Join us there for next week's races. You've been obviously listening to the Soft Cop, the one and only. It has been a pleasure speaking to you all tonight and commentating. And I do hope you have a good rest of the week, and I'll see you all next week. Take care.